Ooh.
What do we call this shit, by the way? We're going to leave all of this in. Maybe that's what we call it. We're leaving all of this in.
Well, some people, it's like Joe Rogan didn't think for 2 seconds about what he called his podcast, and look how well that turned out.
That's true.
So what do you think? The Caleb and Troy, the Troy and Caleb?
We could call it Caleb and Troy working title or something.
There we go. We could be the first podcast that has a different title it'd be like, this week it's called Two Dickheads Think Shit About Kamala. And that'll be the thing.
Yeah, I guess we should probably have some kind of, like, something where people would be like, that's a political podcast. That sounds like
I guess so. I'm trying to think of what it is. Like, there's all that pod save and pod badab and last pod on the baba, and it's like, well, what are we...
weren't we joking around about calling one we're going to get canceled or something like that?
Ooh, we're going to get canceled. It's pretty good.
I mean, there's got to be...
Sounds fun.
I wonder if there's a podcast called that already.
I mean, we should check on it. But it's also like, I mean, what is it really? It's talking politics with two dudes. I don't know. I don't think we need to think about it.
All right.
People don't listen to podcasts based on the thinking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But one of the most popular podcasts is Guys We Fucked. They didn't think about that. Maybe they did.
I think maybe they thought about it a lot.
Maybe.
The reason I say
simple, it's right to the point.
Yeah. I think, yeah, okay. I couldn't find, simple Google, there's nothing.
Well, that's why we should call our podcast Guys We Fuck.
Yeah. Guys not fucking.
Right.
We're talking politics. Which is the surest way to not fuck.
But it's also, we could talk about it. I mean, we'll probably talk about that mostly, but it's like, we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves as like a...
No, yeah, no. You know. Well, that's kind of why I think maybe we're going to get canceled is fun, because it's free roaming, free ranging.
Right.
And, you know, we're allowed to be our loose selves.
We could just call it the Canceled Podcast.
Okay. I like that.
You know, Canceled with Caleb and Troy?
Yeah.
With Troy.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Look at us.
How about this shit?
Look, you can't stop us.
Who says you can't accomplish things during a pandemic?
And it'd be funny, too. A lot of people are going to assume that we just have, like, Brian Callen and Chris D'Elia and, like, people who just got canceled are on it. No. We'll just have people who lost elections. Yeah. They got to do something. It's like, what else do they do?
I don't even know. I don't know what you do. I think losing on elections got to be kind of the worst way to lose any. Like, I'm trying to think of what would be worse to lose than an election.
Ooh. I mean, it's interesting because in the old days, you'd lose the election and the guy that won would chop your head off. So it's better than it used to be. Now you just are kind of lame for the rest of your life, and people you're the butt of every joke.
Yeah.
Like,
well, maybe it's kind of like a little that comedian thing where you're like, you want to be liked so bad. Because the thing about like if you lose a foot race, right? You just lost to that guy, and then maybe the people who are watching who are like, yeah, he's faster than him. But like, people had to actively reject you. Like, millions of them. Millions of people had to actively say, not you. Like, if you really think about it, that's so much worse. Like, one woman.
And mostly that. Mostly it's not you. It's not really the other person they liked so much. And people, then they put a microphone in everybody's face on the street, and they're like, I didn't even like him that much. I just voted for the other guy because I hated Troy so much. And then you got to see that over and over again. They're like, anybody but Troy. And you're like, there's a business. There's an LLC called Anybody But Troy. And people have a desk, and they go to work at Anybody But Troy. Like, what a nightmare.
That's the worst. You know what else is bad? Like, even one woman rejecting me hurts. But then you gotta like turn on a TV and it's like, he's losing women. Look at we have graphs of how much women don't like him. Look at it. He's losing old women, young women, in the middle women, black women, white women. All of the women don't like him. It's like, what is it? What, am I back in high school? Is that what this is? Freshman year again?
Women.
Yeah, it's just like you turn
It'd
on the
also
TV.
be weird to be, then they look at it and they're like, Troy's not doing well with men. Then you're like, what, am I not a man? What is this?
The fuck, like, what do I gotta do? And it's like, oh, the men think you're not enough of a man. And you're like, what do you mean I'm not enough of a man? They haven't seen the polls of the women? The women don't like me. What's more manly than that?
That's how you get tricked to riding in a tank with a helmet on.
Yeah.
He saw some poll and was like, well, give me in a tank.
Yeah, it is kind of like a hard thing because it's like, well, how do you be a guy that men and women both like, right? Like that's.
I just think no one's ever figued that out, have they?
Man, it's so hard. And then later, and then next election, they go, 4 years ago, look how much better this guy's doing with women than the last guy. And you're like, I'm the last guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's just horrible.
It does
seem like it's such a huge drop off. Like, it's better than getting your head chopped off, but it's still like one person gets to run the country and kind of the world sometimes.
Yeah.
And then the other person can barely get, like, I'm sure John Kerry calls CNN and they hang up sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up. No. No more John Kerry. No more Al Gore. Yeah. Al Gore is
John
like
Kerry
serving
could
drinks.
go to the Comedy Store and try to get on stage, and they'd be like, no, we're going to let Louis up first, and if there's time for John Kerry, maybe.
Yeah.
He didn't even get canceled. It's just like, when you let down your party, it's such a crush. Like, it's just such hatred. Like,
big time.
And then the other people still hate you too. The other party hated you before, and now your own party. It's just.
And everybody's shitting on you. Dude, John Kerry signing up for potluck, not getting on.
No.
Not getting on at potluck. Also, it's like
John
that
Kerry
thing
broke my heart. He broke my heart when I was 13, and I'll never get over it.
Yeah, same. But it wasn't even just John Kerry. It was John Edwards broke my heart twice. I was so excited. Right. He picked John Edwards, and I was I had such a dumb, Clinton kid version of politics where I was like, well, he's a white guy with an accent. That's exactly what we need. Like, it was like, I hadn't even thought about it. It was like, I didn't even see this, fucking, what was that game? Like, there's this, who's your date fucking haircut? Like, that, 70s prom date haircut John Edwards had. I didn't even see
the haircut of the guy the burger guy that holds up a burger. Who's the guy that holds
big
a burger
boy?
Like this?
Bob's big boy. And he wasn't even a big boy.
Do we not know that the charming foghorn leghorn accent white dude might win, but you might need to look out for a man like that.
There is that kind of he does have. Wait, you mean the white shoe lawyer guy? That guy was bad. Seersucker suit man, Mr.
You mean the guy that? And it's almost like, didn't we know that? Like, it's so weird. You could see a sketch. It'll be like some old sketch from 1989 where they're like. And it's the same Bill Clinton jokes about him being like and you're like, how did they know it then? He was the governor of Arkansas, and people were like, there wasn't even the internet. So they're just like, we heard that governor likes to fuck. Everyone heard of it? How? How did everyone already know? I think it's just the accent, that guy, they know. And it's like, how do we not know about Edwards? It seems so obvious now.
Oh, man, he turned out to be a gigantic piece of shit. Way bigger piece of shit. Horrible. But there he was, sitting next to Dick Cheney, fucking licking his thumb and flipping his little notepad.
How bad you gotta fuck up to look evil next to Dick Cheney is just otherworldly.
He just looked like He looked like Dick Cheney was going to fold him up and put him in his briefcase.
And Dick Cheney did great. Like,
yeah.
I hate him, but boy, did he clean up those debates.
Well, yeah, he was just sitting there with his hands in front of him, and he go, well, that's just simply not true. Blah, blah, blah. And then Edwards was, like, over there, like, batting his eyes and fucking licking. It was like, I think about it now, I'm like, what did I think was going to happen? Like, that was such a bad kid. There were so many things that I thought were good at, fucking 18 or whatever I was. I don't even know if I was that old, but like, whatever that I thought were like great. I remember when John Kerry comes out and he goes, "I'm John Kerry and I'm reporting for duty," and I was like, "Yeah!" And it was like, what? Like you watch that now and it's so hokey.
Oh wow, yeah.
That it's like, oh no, that's why they were able to swift boat him.
It's so funny too now that it's like, I remember it was a real thing with like, look at Kerry and Edwards in their pants. Boy, they can't rock jeans. And now it's like, can you imagine seeing Trump in a pair of blue jeans? Is there a picture of him in blue jeans on Earth?
No, it's just
a thing now.
It's just suits and golf pants. He's like a cartoon character. He has like 2 outfits. He's like, it's literally just like same shit every time you fucking see him. He might as well have like a fucking black squiggly line across the front of his suit. He's just like the same thing every time. And then you lose to that guy. And then you lose to him, and you know he's an idiot, and you still have to pay taxes. You shouldn't have, like, it should not be a thing. Hillary Clinton shouldn't have to pay taxes anymore.
No.
She should just not. And that opinion is the first thing that'll get me canceled.
Okay, so you're canceled for that. We also have your opinion of Kamala. She wasn't your first choice. That is going to get canceled?
She wasn't. No, because I still love Kamala. I always did. I thought Gretchen Whitmer was, better call. But then, I'm Mr. fucking John Edwards is going to save the day. So what do I know? But,
I mean, I was on board with Big Gretch after the song. When you sent me that song, that changed everything.
I mean, if you get a Detroit rapper to write a song about you as the white lady governor of the state, like, that's, like, what are we even talking about? Like, the governor? Like, that sounds like somebody bad.
Well, now I'm worried that him picking Kamala is going to piss off Eminem somehow, and Eminem had a Gretchen song ready to go, being in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, now he raps about stuff like that, like Eminem raps about gun control and, like...
I know, it's weird.
Trans in the military, like that's his.
it's very. And now you're canceled.
Well, I don't want. It's like if they made a Goodfellas 2 where they all worked for Greenpeace. It's like that's not what I was watching. I was watching them be bad.
Yeah, like Polly Walnuts is like fucking vegan Polly Walnuts.
I don't want Darth Vader to be donating to the...
Yeah, you don't want to find out that they call him Polly Walnuts because that's all he eats is walnuts. Yeah, that's why we call him Polly Walnuts. Nah, he doesn't eat meat. He only eats legumes.
Yeah. I mean, it just ruins the whole thing. It's ridiculous. I even catch myself doing... I rewatched Reservoir Dogs last night.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him forever. It's like a movie. Everybody loves Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
But even then, I was catching myself being like, Mr. Pink is really racist. And it's like, he's a mass murderer. The first time I watched it, I went, wow, that guy's killing a lot of people. And now I'm like, boy, he's got some problem. And like, it never, when I watched it when I was 12, I took it in as a grain of salt. Hey, of course, Mr. Pink. We think he's a very woke killer. He's a murderer.
That's a funny idea. The woke killer is a. Oh yeah, he just
killing people.
The woke
but
killer.
Even then, it was making me enjoy it less because my brain's been it's gotten rewired in the last 10 years where it's like I have to sit there and go, I don't know if Mr. Pink should be racist.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
He's not even the good guy in the movie. Like, can't we still have bad guys that are bad?
That's really funny. The idea of Mr. Pink, the woke killer.
Right.
The guy, somebody just goes around.
Work. He wouldn't be knocking over diamond stores with ex-cons.
Or would he? Because they're conflict diamonds, though. It's not about wealth. It's that he doesn't want conflict diamonds. I've been canceled twice already. We should have like a bit where we have like a little graphic that every time we say something that's clearly problematic, there's like a little ting, we get a tally.
If we get canceled now, it won't even count. I'm already doing nothing and making no money. What else
that's good.
could happen?
That's true. I mean, they really can't do anything to me. Like,
all you could do at this point, if you ruin my wall unit, if you find a way to take away my
air conditioning,
I don't know what else you want to do.
Yeah, you
can't even evict me. I can't be evicted.
I can't. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I already live in a cage. It's already a studio apartment that I'm paying entirely too much for, with weird dust. I don't even know where this dust is coming from. I'll like sweep my floor and go, well, it's fun to know that that's in my lungs.
Oh, yeah.
I like knowing that. I like knowing that's in my lungs at the same time. Just ignore
it's so
it.
weird because, like, before COVID, I was just like, yeah, I live in a dust apartment. And now I'm like, every time I even have a scratch, I'm like, bah! And it's like, I've not changed my filter. I haven't changed a filter in 6 years.
I don't even know where the filter is. No idea.
I don't know.
I can't filter this apartment. Probably. You know what else is in the fridge? Dust. Dust is also in the fridge.
I got dust and American cheese and a Dr. Pepper in my fridge.
You could cancel me. You could get me banned from Uber Eats. That would get me. That would be the end.
I can't even imagine life. I didn't do it that much before, but now it's like the prices are so. I'm like, I'm not even a rich guy, and now I'm just like, bring it to me, like everything.
Boy, back to me, boy. From Westwood.
Like you get the monthly one, and it's like it's just like Amazon. I don't want to support the evil rich guy, but it's so good.
No, I have the same thing.
Postmates Unlimited. Let me tell you, folks, Postmates Unlimited will get you. And here's something else I like about Postmates Unlimited. They never get it right. Every time I order Taco Bell from Postmates, they only bring me 8 out of the 10 tacos I wanted. And then I just say they didn't have 2 of the tacos. And then the whole thing's almost free. And I'm just like, well, I saved money doing this.
So wait, you have Postmates Unlimited or Uber Eats Pass?
I do Postmates Unlimited, and I get Taco Bell several times a week.
Because I have Uber Eats Pass, and I'm thinking, I wonder if this is a thing. But like with Netflix passwords and stuff, like you think that's like a thing? People do that? Trade.
I think you cracked the whole code of everything. You could also text me what you want. I'll order it to your house.
Ooh.
I can text you what I want. You order the Uber Eats to my house.
This is look at us. We should be the ones that are getting elected.
This is so funny too, because this is like the opposite of like what like Mark Maron does. Like, use my code Maron and we're like, tell me what you want from Uber Eats and I'll send it to your house.
I think you just Venmo me. We're just like using all of the tech services as just like guys with fucking elaborate clothing enjoying our money.
Yeah, it's so funny, like the lowest end of podcast where it could be like, hey, 10 million Americans are not keeping up with their... Well, me and Troy will cut your grass. We'll cut your grass. Where do you live?
Mm-hmm. Did you ever...
That's a weird ad.
Did you ever drive Postmates or anything?
No, I never had a car long enough to get it done.
Dude, that shit sucked. I did it. It was not fun.
I'm sure it does. They always seem in a bad mood when they get to my house.
It was not... It has like this very like... That's what I think is funny about the like monthly subscription of like, it's like all these people in your house and you're going like, well, yeah, I don't make that much money, but yes, bring it to me, boy, bring it to me. And it's just like this like cast of like, it's like, It's like this. It's like feudalism. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's really strange. It's because I'm like Postmates Unlimited is like $9 a month, and for
yeah,
that I get free delivery,
yeah,
and I don't. It's like I don't have a car. I'm paying $9 a month to have people do everything I did with my car.
right,
I
yeah.
mean,
It's
it's
the
weird.
same,
It's
dude.
very weird.
Dude, I'm the same. Like I use the Uber Eats pass, and it's like you get the taxes and fees taken off, and you get the delivery. So it's like both. So it's just like the price of the food and tip. So it's like boom, right to you. It's great. It's awesome. I love it, dude. It's like I order so much shit. I'm gonna order burrito tonight. I'm getting
Oh
so
man,
fat.
that'll be our bonus content for Patreon. They can watch us eat what we. They can just eat what we order right after we're done recording.
Yeah, part of the Patreon content is just you get to watch our faces expand. Dude, I've been gaining weight so heavy.
I've been getting it in my face. I'm getting that Travolta face where it's just doing this, and it's just going straight out. I don't think it'll ever stop. I think it'll get to the width of my shoulders, and I'll just be a guy like this.
I'm getting it like kind of like I gain weight really evenly, which is great when you only gain a little.
I've always said that about you.
Dude, it's very even, but what sucks about it is it's great at the beginning because it's just like you don't notice. You have like about like 5 to 7 pounds where no one can tell. But what sucks is when you get past that, you're just gaining everywhere. And now I'm like, I'm like putting on like shirts that used to be like my favorite shirts, and like all of a sudden the neck's like up here and shit. Like it's like all this like putting on stuff. I'm like, this is a little baby. How does this become a little baby shirt? Doing like Zoom dates.
But it's still better. You don't want to gain weight like those dudes who they got like the chicken legs and then the huge like top part where they look like Tasmanian devil or something. That's like horrible.
Yeah, I do kind of like the. No, I don't like that at all. But I like the Zoom dates are fun because it feels like this thing where even though I'm not catfishing them, it feels kind of like I'm catfishing them because like they can only see me because it takes a while before I really gain weight in my face, so they can only see me from like here up, and for all they know, I'm like sitting on a rascal over here.
We're canceled again. Rascal's not a sponsor.
They're definitely not a sponsor, but I might as well be over. Like, I'm like packing the fucking pounds on. It's been bad.
Do you think it's that way? I always assumed that was a thing about the weakness of men. Like men are like, she weighed more than I thought. Like I didn't think. Are they doing that too? I thought that was just us being shitty.
No, I think this is all in my head. I think all of it. I don't think they actually care. What's kind of nice though is like I'll like do the date or whatever, but you're quarantined. So then like I hang up with the girl and then I order a pizza. I don't even like I don't even have to get into shape. Like when am I gonna see him? Fucking January? I'll probably figure it out by then. You know what I mean?
That's
like
when the free trial ends.
Yeah, that's your free date trial.
Yeah.
Now you got to pay for this with crunches and push-ups.
Oh man, I wonder if that's going to be a thing where it's like a halfway house for prostitution, where they're like, you can date me for free for a year.
Yeah.
Or it's like, or there's some like trial period where it's like, it won't be prostitution until your trial is over. And then it will become illegal.
Oh, yeah. Like they go, okay, so for the first few months, she'll come to your house. But after that, you got to go pick her up in that dark-ass corner off that fucking... You got to go drive to that part.
Because, I mean, legally, I'm like wondering what the law would be. Because, I mean...
If it's free, I mean, it's not... Yeah, if it's free... Like, no, Your Honor, it was a free sample.
Well, this is just like the whole age of consent bit, where it's like to even bring it up. If somebody, like, if some congressman was like, "We need to work on free trial prostitution," it's never going to be.
Yeah,
it's never going anywhere.
But I guess there is kind of like a thing to that, right? Like, it's only prostitution if they were to charge you. So theoretically, if there were free samples, that would be legal. Like, if you went and you picked the woman up, right, and she was a cop, but you said, like, if she got in your car and she was a cop and you were like, and she was like, it's this much, and you were like, free sample. they couldn't arrest you. Like, if you, like, you know what I mean?
I am honestly, I know there's no even an outline for what we're supposed to talk about. I'm amazed at the amount of things that we're saying that will get us canceled. I can't believe. Like, well, things where I could just see the clip now on Twitter where it's that little wide video and it's like, here's Troy and Caleb in 2020. Like the month we get SNL talking about how prostitution is not bad if it's free. And it's like, we didn't mean, that's not what we meant.
Well, you know what? That has the added benefit of if they listen to me just say that, they would go, just take his law degree away. He's the worst lawyer. He's such a bad lawyer. There's no way that's actually the case.
I don't know. You were just doing this. That looked like what a lawyer would do. They like
well,
do that.
Yeah, I like this is my Jackie Childs impression.
Yeah.
You say the cigarette companies. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's real good. Kramer, I think you might have a case. Yeah. I've watched entirely too much Seinfeld. Entirely too much. It's the best.
It's really, really, really good.
It's so good. I love it. I love it so much.
And I feel like it's aged well. Like, for all the things that people are like, ooh, I think for something in the 90s, I don't think there's anything you can really go after.
So there are two things. So the outfits obviously have not aged well. They haven't even aged.
I just mean like with, you know, when people look at Friends and like half the jokes are like, we're not gay. You know, it's like, where you're like, half the jokes are someone might be gay.
Well, there is the contest episode. Remember the contest episode?
Yes.
Where they're jerking off. But remember, in the contest episode, there's a woman who's naked across the street in her apartment, and she, like, walks around her apartment, and they're all, like, peeping Toms, like, watching her. Like, if you watch that now, you're like, oof. Ooh, that's less funny.
Well, it's also... there aren't heroes. Same with Mr. Pink. No one in Seinfeld is good.
Oh, yeah, they're all bad people. That's why I like it so much, I think.
So there's no hero. It's not like, you know, what was the old rule in Hollywood where it was like, you can have a gangster movie as long as the gangster dies in the end and gets his lesson. Like, there was an old rule of, like, if somebody was a huge, horrible person, they had to learn their lesson or else you couldn't show the violence. Like, some weird thing like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like, it's also, the part of the thing is like that they're having the contest and it's like, they have to try to not even look out the window. I mean, it's just like, we can't cancel Seinfeld.
I'm not, I would never cancel Seinfeld.
If we didn't cancel Kramer after the Laugh Factory, we're not doing it.
I know, but I'll watch the show. I don't care. It's not that I think, you know, what he did is okay, but I'm not watching that show. Yeah, you're mine.
That's how good Seinfeld is.
It's so good.
Any other show, Kramer doing that the show would be done.
Well, yeah, almost certainly. You can't be like a character from Wings dropping the N-bomb all over the place.
Thomas Hayden Church started doing stand-up.
You know him from Sideways. You know him from Wings. It's just N-bombs.
I don't know why, but the middle image of him up there with that voice like, Miles. Miles. Do you know
It's just
if this was the 50s?
the best part would be him apologizing for it, like Kramer had to. Like, dude, when Kramer, when Jerry was on, what was it like? Was it Letterman? It was Leno. Was it Letterman or was it Letterman? And
the worst one too. You shouldn't do it on Letterman. Letterman doesn't have feelings.
It looked like a bit because Kramer's. It's like Michael Richards is kind of like, remember, because he videos in, like Jerry's on the couch and Kramer videos in, and he's kind of he's like he's almost doing like some of the Kramer movements in the video, and he's like
and it just doesn't make sense. Like he looks so serious, and he's wearing his like Kramer at court suit, and he's like I don't think I meant to the Afro-Americans, and you're like, dude, no.
Yeah, it's clearly he's still Kramer. And then the crowd, remember the crowd starts to laugh, and then Jerry goes, it's not funny!
And it's like, nothing's funnier than Jerry saying it's not funny.
It's so funny. Should we talk, what Kamala? Should we talk to Kamala? The
politics? Shit, yeah, we gotta talk about it. I mean,
we gotta do the election stuff.
It's weird to just see a mix of because, I mean, you and I are similar. We have a lot of liberal and conservative friends.
Yeah.
And it's like seeing the super lefties pissed and the super right, like, who are both like, I can't believe it's Kamala. And you're like, do y'all know you're agreeing about this? Like, doesn't that make you both want to change your mind? That socialists and Trumpers are feeling the same. I'm like, what did you expect? What did you want? Like, he's Joe Biden. He's been this guy for as long as you can trace things, and that's who he's gonna pick. It's like, did you think he was gonna pick Bernie or AOC? Like, it's like, what did you think was gonna happen? He's not gonna pick someone who doesn't even line up with him. It's just nuts to me, and it's like.
Well, what I think is interesting is I've been like scrolling. It's like I feel like often some of the Bernie side can be really kind of like comically tone deaf a little. Like there was literally like I was scrolling. I even like tweeted it because in my feed there was a friend of mine, a young black woman from my acting class because I'm a Hollywood piece of shit. And she was like talking about, she was like, I'm so excited to watch Joy Reid, the first black female cable news anchor, like primetime news anchor, interview Kamala Harris, the first black VP candidate. She was like, representation matters. She was like jumping up and down basically in her Twitter post. And literally right under that is like this Bernie bro dude like, congrats to white people, literally the only ones who wanted this to happen. They were literally juxtaposed. It was just like, come on, man. Like, every young white woman I know is pumped.
That's what drives me nuts, too, is where it's like, where did you get that? People are like, I don't trust polls. You just did one in your own head where you're like, I don't think black people like Kamala. I'll tweet it. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, why would you? It's
where did you get that?
Dude, and I kind of think, I'm starting to be like, yeah, actually, I actually think I did really like Whitmer, but as the day went on, I've started to be like, nah, she's the better choice. Like I've changed my mind.
If you're gonna cast it's the sequel to Biden and Obama in 2008, where it's like, I mean, we were talking about that earlier, where it's like Biden was the one who said some dumb old white guy stuff about Obama, and everybody was like, what an idiot.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I kind of like this guy. And then you're like, oh, it's like the buddy cop thing. Oh, and like people loved it. Yeah. And now it's like Biden's even older and even whiter, and Kamala was doing the whole busing thing with you and the segregationists and all that stuff, and they hated each other. I mean, it's like a plot. it's the most perfect, like, now we're
Yeah.
gonna team up, and there's some cringy, horrible scene where he learns something from her and she learns something from him, and then they take down the big bad Trump. I mean, that's what it's a casting thing.
Dude, I think that, like, it's one of those things where I just started, like, I started watching stuff and I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, it's like you get kind of like excited about one person and you kind of forget how much you liked the other person originally. And it was like once he picked her, I started remembering how much I liked Kamala. And it wasn't that I never didn't like her. I just kind of was like, oh, you know, I think a governor who's like handling COVID is like probably a really good call. But at the same time, man, Kamala's the shit. Like I like her, and the more like I just get more and more excited, and then like seeing like all of these like young black women get really excited, maybe more excited, and then like my like moderate Republican friends who were like, fuck, I don't like Trump, and Biden's okay, and we're like, yeah, they were all like fine. They were like, yeah, she's cool. So like I was like, okay, so if they're like that, and then like people on the like non-far left who were like not gonna like not who were gonna do it who weren't gonna vote for Biden anyway. They weren't anyway. So there was nobody he was gonna pick unless it was Bernie that they were gonna vote. It was gonna be, you know what I mean? So it was like the broadest. It's like a big bell curve of people who are cool with it. And I'm like, yeah, great.
And it's this whole Twitter thing is like, I mean, I love Twitter. I tweet all the time. I'm crazy. But Twitter is people yelling on the street.
Yeah. It's not real life at all.
It's people yelling, and it's like, it would make as much sense if Biden goes, people yelling on the street have been saying pants aren't good. No more pants. Like, it's that stupid to be like, the polls are in. People hate. It's just, you're dealing with, well, who has it said that it's bathroom walls? Twitter is a bathroom wall. Like, it's not actually compute to, and it's like, I know there's people who are pissed that they can't ever really get the lefty they want.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's life, and it's not a good ever. So maybe get used to disappointment.
Right.
I don't know.
But I also think that like you and I don't necessarily drift as far as we would, partly because of where we're from. Like I feel like California is such a bubble, and I don't know about your newsfeed on Twitter, but my newsfeed is like either almost all comedians and like actors and stuff, and then like some political reporters, but almost everybody is in New York or LA, and that's kind of it's a bubble. Like this shit is not real. It's Neverland. And I would be like seeing stuff where people go like, well, everybody obviously loves this. And I'll go, I know I've done entirely too many shows in the mountains of Colorado. Like, I know those people are not going to like this person or this person.
Just, it's like, especially with politics, it's like, this is the whole country. And it's like, it makes as much sense to me as when I talk to people back home who are like, I think buildings over 10 feet tall are straight from the devil. Like, you sound just as stupid.
Yeah. It just, I think like, that wait, what are you going to say?
Thinking that stoplights are communism and shit, where I'm just like, you're ridiculous. You're being ridiculous.
Like, yeah, I think that there's like very much a thing where people forget that there's like a whole bunch of other people that don't agree with them, that they're going to, that they get like a say too. And so like, you're never going to get exactly what you want. It doesn't work like that. It can't, because if you get everything you want, there are going to be a whole bunch of people who don't want a whole bunch of that, and that person's going to lose. And then you get nothing of what you want. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I've been getting like hyped about Kamala. Like, I'm like excited.
I think it was a good call. I think it was I didn't expect it because it sounded like too much of a good call. And I do feel like Joe is not the Joe I wish he was.
He's not what he was. He's not as crisp.
So
as he was.
I feel like it was a smart call, and I think it makes him look cooler. Makes him look. I mean, it makes him look older, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Now it's like a cool ticket.
Honestly, yeah, no, I think you're right. Like, I think she makes Joe, because I personally think Joe. Sometimes I feel really old out here because I feel like Joe's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about earlier. It's the showing that like me and McCain were buddies. Yeah, we had beef in the debates, but look at me now. I'm like it really makes him look like a friendly grandpa, which is what he needs. He needs to lean into that like I'm working, I'm cooperating, I'm above all this petty stuff. I can get things like it. That is a good message to send. And also she's not 70, which is good. And he's the oldest person who's ever done it. And it'll be nice to not, if that were the only history making thing where they're like, we're about to elect the oldest president, like that's a weird news story. You don't want that.
Look at him, he's sleeping right now.
Because then it's too close to we're talking to the oldest man in the world news story, and it's just bad. You don't want to be the oldest.
Yeah.
And so it's good to have more history making and more like cooperation. I mean, I think it was smart. It's also like, did you like the fact that anyone thinks or is it remotely disappointed? Like, I thought he'd pick a communist. Like, what? How are you even? You're a communist in America, and your disappointment is new to you. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, you should just walk out, and the second you see businesses go,
crazy. I mean, that makes as much sense as being like, you believe that the Republican picked a Republican running mate? Like, yes, the same party. Like, it drives me insane. I'm like, what world do you live in? Do you go outside and look around and learn?
It is really funny that this idea of like being like a communist and then going like, disappointed again. Like, what? Of course.
It's like you live in a country that is built around its army. That's what we're a country that is attached to an army. We're the country that makes guns, and if you like communism, you probably
yeah. Well, they do like guns.
Like strange.
They're big fans of AK-47s in particular, but we are the country that has 76 kinds of AK-47s, and they come in pink and they come in blue, and you can get one with like Super Mario.
On our AK-47s are really good.
Yeah, you want an AK-47 with Super Mario on the side of it? We're your Huckleberry.
Hey Sharks, 10 million Americans are looking for an AK-47 every day. We have Hello Kitty AK-47s.
We got one that's completely clear. You can buy
Okay. I kind of want a clear AK-47.
Dude, who wouldn't? How cool would that be?
I don't know.
The only problem would be, like, I would be afraid to use it. That's like, did you think about buying a gun when everything got shut down?
No, but my dad did offer to mail me my gun. He said, because I still have one. A person from Georgia, we all have guns. It's like, when people like go, oh, I'm like, I got a gun when I was 12. It's not even a thing. We all had them. Everyone in my family has. Everyone had a gun. Didn't know anyone without a gun.
You know,
I didn't take it to LA. I wasn't like, let me pack up my gun so I can make it in showbiz. It's just at my parents' house.
You should.
When I was there, my dad was like, "Do you want me to mail you your gun?"
Dude, how funny would it be?
Like, Dad, I don't think you can mail a gun to LA. I doubt that's okay. And he's like, you can do it. I don't know.
I think he's right. I think you can. But also, think about how... Wait, what?
You don't think they'll know it's a gun?
Dude, because you can buy a gun online. So if you can buy a gun online, they got to mail it to you.
I did think about, because I was like, the way it is now, it's like, it's the first time, like, the first time the Second Amendment has made sense, where I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, if it is a chaotic
right, yeah,
thing, and if there is a like, it's like being like, if it was 1776 and I lived here, I'd be like, I wish I had one. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, before I was always like, oh yeah, we're gonna overthrow the government. Good luck, good luck, Dad. But now I'm like, oh, how am I to know that my neighborhood is not going to be overtaken by a gang of roaming, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of, it's not like I'm not a big hunting guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not, but I do kind of, I mean, this year has been like, who knows if there's anything anywhere, or what if California's its own country? I don't know. So I kind of get it. I still haven't done it. I still don't have it, but I mean, I have thought about it. I was like, I mean, is it good to have for the revolution that is imminent? I don't know.
Well, it would have been really funny if you had brought it to make it in Hollywood. Like, just like the most bumpkin. Like, that's like the idea for a sitcom where it's like Beverly Hillbillies, but it's to make it in Hollywood. And then you like pitch a show, and they go, "We think we're gonna pass," and you go, "Oh yeah, and what about now? You still passing?"
It's also funny to just walk in, put it on the table, and go, "I got some funny ideas," and they're like, "Oh, okay."
I got 2 hours of funny ideas. There you go. Grace, clear my schedule. You know what else would be? I also think it's interesting because your dad's a Trump guy, right?
Well, I mean, it feels weird to say that. I mean, he's sort of. I mean, he's a preacher in Georgia.
Yeah.
And he's not a big fan.
He's not like a hat guy.
No, would never in a million years wear the hat. But he's I heard somebody say this the other day, and it made so much sense where they're like, I think Trump won because Republicans usually vote for the Republican nominee.
Yeah.
And that's how it worked that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sad to say it, but if ours, I can never really fully figure out who the Democratic Trump would be. Like, would it be who would do that on the Democrat side?
Who is Democratic Trump? Democratic Trump's got to be like, who's like a super rich, crazy? It's probably like Madonna or something. Like
someone who's never held office before.
Yeah.
Just swoops in and was accusing the last president of a fake person. Like,
I don't even know. It's like
I don't
Ryan
know who's in
Seacrest.
that same. Yeah, but I'm also thinking about if it was like a clearly racist, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know who the version would be. Who's the worst nightmare for? Which celebrity is the worst nightmare for Republicans?
I mean, probably Denzel Washington. It's probably the worst. He's probably the worst. He's probably the one that would win for sure. Like, he's probably the one that could take him out.
To me, Trump is to be taken exactly as seriously as Ludacris. And I love Ludacris. Ludacris is one of my favorites.
It is.
Ludacris captured the Democratic nomination. I don't know if I could.
I'd be a Romney guy. If it's Romney versus Ludacris, I'm probably a Romney guy.
Ludacris. And then the ridiculousness of Democrats going, I think Ludacris got some good ideas.
Hey, look, I love his albums, but I don't want him to have nuclear weapons. I'm sorry.
I just think, like, he's so clearly that this ridiculous person who should not have the job. Even Ludacris doesn't quite do it, because Ludacris isn't, like, racist and ridiculous.
No, he's not. But that's what I mean. Like, there's almost like nobody on the Democratic side that's I'm honestly trying to think of what, like, maybe if because Trump used to be a Democrat, so like if Trump had run as a Democrat,
absolutely,
I don't think I would have voted for him. I don't think I could have made myself do it, even if he was like, you're gonna have, I'm gonna let you you think Obamacare is good now? Obamacare gonna be so much better. Gonna make Obama. So I'm gonna put Barack Obama on the Mount Rushmore right next to me.
This is a little bleak now, I guess. But I used to talk about like Regis, like if it was Regis versus Ted Cruz or something, you'd be like, this is. When people are like, I think Regis, and you're just like, it's Regis. It's not Regis. You're all pretending it's not him. It's like the way people that like Trump talk about him, like people like Regis is locking up a lot of pedophiles and child sex traffickers, and you're like, Regis is doing that?
Like,
I don't think Regis is doing that.
I'm pretty sure Regis.
Oh, Regis, the best thing ever happened to the black community is Regis. I just feel like you're not listening. You're not listening to what you're saying.
If we had that little ticker, for sure, you would have gotten one on that one.
And I like Regis. That's why there's no equivalent.
I know. I like
Regis. No equivalent.
Okay, Regis versus Kelly Ripa. Who do you vote for?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to know their stances. I don't know.
Kelly Ripa all day.
Really? I don't know what Kelly.
You give me a pretty white lady. I'm gonna pick pretty white lady over Regis Philbin. If we're gonna be ridiculous, if it's gonna be like.
What if Kelly Ripa? What if Kelly Ripa's like Tommy Loren and she's got all these like
Yeah, it's harder, but it's still Regis. It's still like
Tommy Loren. I know you won't say it because you don't want to get canceled again.
I would
You'd
not
vote for Tommy Loren so that you could tweet about it and she'd retweet and then you'd meet her and then you'd be the first man.
I would not vote. I would not vote. Nobody wants. I would not vote for Tommy Loren. Do not put that out there. I would not date Tommy Loren.
All right.
America, I want you to listen to me. I would not date that woman, Tommy Loren. Everybody just knows.
I feel like we've gotten each other canceled on as enough. We're almost at an hour, I think.
Okay.
And I honestly now I'm just thinking of like how many clips we could isolate of like rank which one you think is most cancelable.
Dude, I think it would be fun for you to try to have your dad mail you your gun now, just so he can see how bad the postal service is now. Like it's it's unmailable. You can be like, Dad, I need it. Hurry, I need it. And then it probably wouldn't get here until after the election.
Well, I'll ask. I mean, this is a great experiment.
I didn't think about buying a gun.
Well,
I honestly did.
I can get my dad to mail one to your house if you want.
Well, yeah, it won't be here. I might as well like. But I thought, why I don't think I'll think about buying one sometimes, and I'll be like, yeah, like maybe I should get. I do think they're cool, and then I'll be like, that's why I shouldn't have one. That's exactly why I shouldn't have one. Is because I'll be like, yeah, I would get like a cool one, and then I'll be like, that's why. Because I know myself, and I would be like playing with it and shit. Like I just want to be like messing with my gun all the time.
There are all the movies I like. Every movie I like has them in it a lot. So
yeah,
of course you would think it's cool.
Yeah, I like them, and that's why I'm like I shouldn't have one. Because
Yeah.
I will fucking I'll play with it. I know I'll play with it. I'm a grown man, and I know I'll play with it. I will.
I'll play with it.
I will. I'll play with the gun. I know I will. There's no way I get a gun. I buy a shiny new chrome Beretta, and I just leave it locked up in a case in the closet. No way. I'm going to be spinning that thing while
We're sitting there eating pizza and playing video games, and it's me and you and AJ, and we all have our gun, and we're like spinning them on our fingers like this.
I can't guarantee.
It's another great night.
Oh, dude.
It's never...
Even right now, like I'll like throw a football up to like think while if I'm like writing a packet or something like that. But it wouldn't be that. It would be spinning a gun. I know it would. I know. And
if I had one, either if it does this or it does this, like I would love to spin the 6-shooter. I would love to just do this a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like I would do it all day long.
Oh dude, I would be like fucking, as much as I like model cars, I'd be like taking that shit apart, fucking putting it back. I mean, I'm telling you, I thought about it. I was like, I should get one. I even looked online to see how much they were. And then I was like, ooh, that one's cool. And I was like, I should not have one. I should not be allowed to have one. The very fact that I want one for that reason is like, I don't.
Well, this is why the podcast is so good, because they can follow your gun journey, and they can get a Patreon and support.
Yeah, dude, we got to
get a gun.
Help Troy eventually accidentally shoot himself. Guaranteed. No way.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
I think we covered this is probably a great theme for the podcast. Is just to have like, hey, tweet us, subscribe, and then be like, let us know what you think we got canceled for on this episode, because this one is at least 20 or 30.
Oh yeah, they can't hurt us. Who are we?
We're just talking.
You can't hurt us. We're not anybody. Who are you gonna hurt?
What are you gonna do?
Oh, are you gonna what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You gonna get me banned from YouTube? Get out of here.
Yeah, it's hard to do that.
It's pretty much impossible. We would need a significant amount more swastikas. And even then, probably not.
Wow, I can't think of a better final thought than we should have more swastikas.
That is not what I said.
Well, someone will say it and they'll tweet it, and then
that'll be the end of it. All right.
No, you said we need more swastikas.
No, I did not say that. What I said was
we would need
more swastikas were we to desire to get banned from YouTube. Please vote for me. Don't vote for my opponent. I can explain.
Oh, man. I think this was a barn burner episode.
I think it came out great.
It off.
I think it came out real great.
I can't wait to see it.
Dude. I think this is a great first episode. Obviously, we're it's still raw. We're ironing out kinks. All of our
there's no kinks.
Potential listeners. The next one, I won't be in prison like I currently am. I won't be being interrogated as I am. Caleb will also still be a comedian in a comedian's apartment.
Right. I might set it up against the blank wall or in the bathroom or something. But
no, see, the blank wall thing, clearly bad. Not a good idea.
This gives people a peek into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they want it, but
it's riveting. It's absolutely riveting.
Dude, well, I think this was great. Let's post this and get it out there.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Well, for the first people who are listening to this inaugural episode of the Canceled Podcast.
Canceled.
Signing off. I'm Troy Walker. He's Caleb Simon. Oh, and follow us everywhere. He's at Caleb Simon on Instagram and Twitter. And right?
On Twitter, I got canceled.
Oh, right. I forgot you got canceled from Twitter.
I already got canceled. It's Dumb Caleb on Twitter because I technically impersonated Joe Biden, which violates the terms. So it's Dumb Caleb on Twitter.
He technically impersonated Joe Biden. He was the first one to pick Kamala Harris. Caleb signed it first, and they did not like it. And I am Troy Walker, ESQ, like Esquire, on both Instagram and Twitter. So follow us. And if you already follow us, listen to our podcast more. And I guess I'm saying that to you.
Tell people we're two cool guys. Troy knows a lot about politics and law. I don't know shit, but I like it. So if you know a lot or you don't know a lot, Troy's your guy or I'm your guy. I'm just listening. But I'm a guy and I think and stuff. So I'm doing what I can. Yeah, listen to tell a friend. We're two people that were sane, and we're out here trying to figure out the world, and we've been all around this great land. So we know a lot. We don't know a lot, but we've met a lot of people, so our views are nuanced and right.
Man, I'll tell you, you sure did impersonate Joe Biden.
Turns out it's not hard. It's not hard.
It sure isn't. And that is a double entendre, again, on Joe Biden. And with that final cancellation, I think we call it.
That's right. Like, share, and subscribe. We're out here.
Like, share, and subscribe.
And ring that bell. I don't know what it does, but they say if you ring that bell.
What bell?
I don't know. I hear it on YouTube. They go, ring the bell.
Okay, then yeah, ring the bell. We'll find out what the bell is in between, but we don't want to be behind the curve. So if you know what the bell is and we don't know what the bell is, then you should ring it.
That's right.
All right. I think this was great.
Next time.
We nailed it.
We're doing great.
All right. See you guys next time. And that's it. Cancel podcast.
Shit. Never, not that. I remember this. This was Little Rascals. Shit. My bad. I forgot about that. This is a new thing now.
Caleb Simon coming through with the final cancellation.
It meant Ote Buttwheat for 200 years. Now it means, I don't know. I forget.
I think it still should mean that. I don't like, we shouldn't just cede everything to white supremacists because white supremacists decide they like it. We shouldn't just give in. That's like, it's just like giving in territory. I would argue that more non-racist people should use the OK symbol specifically so the white supremacists can't.
I think that's a good point. It's like, remember all those articles that were like, oh, these new Nazis got haircuts. It's like, what, are haircuts bad? We know haircuts are not good?
Yeah, it's like, that's not I mean, I guess that was a Nazi haircut, but now it's a barista haircut. You don't get to just take it back, Nazis. That's a hipster haircut. That's a Silver Lake standard, that haircut.
Once the hipsters got into Nazis, it's like, oh, just when I thought I couldn't hate them more.
I was into hating before it was cool.
I liked the First World War.
I like Hitler's original stuff.
What's really bad is I just remember that my parents are going to see this. Like, my mom's going to see this and text me. Oh, no. Okay,
I think it's going great.
We're just joking around, Mom.
Yeah, we're just kidding. Hi, Mrs. Sign-In.
Troy's a great young man.
We're doing we're good. We're good.
We're doing our best.
All right,
I really got to pee.
All right, yeah, for sure. All right. All right. That's it, guys.
Really got canceled.